Welcome to episode number 19 of Central Intelligence Cinema. We've got spy movie news, a lively discussion on the future of Bond, and our spoiler-free first impressions of Black Widow on the way. So let's get it going, shall we? Take it away, Pierce.
Beg your pardon, forgot to knock.
Welcome to the CIC, initiating security clearance.
My name is Napoleon Solo. Bond. James Bond. Ethan Hunt.
Felix Leiter.
Ilya Kuryakин.
Identity confirmed.
Now, pay attention, 007.
Welcome to Central Intelligence Cinema, a podcast dedicated to spy movies and secret agent pop culture.
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Remember, nothing ever goes according to plan.
Tom, what do you think you're doing?
Using the British handbag, sir. You expect me to talk?
Yeah, baby!
Recorded from an undisclosed location, possibly floating somewhere in the air. Spoiler alert! It's the Central Intelligence Cinema. I'm Jason Greenberg, and with me, as always, Ben Esslinger.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason. And welcome back to Central Intelligence Cinema. It's been a minute, but it's good to be back.
Absolutely.
There are 85 days until the U.S. release of No Time to Die, allegedly.
Hey, good news is it's coming out before Dune. Thanks for pushing my movie out another 2 weeks.
Bastards.
Jerks.
What the hell?
I suppose I'll still go see it. I mean,
you're only the biggest fan ever of it.
Right.
Well, welcome back to the CIC. We got a little intel report and discussion for you. Might be talking about some movie that came out. I don't know. Some woman. She's got red hair. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it, and I can't say too much.
It's like a Disney princess movie or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
something like that. And the hard thing is I can't say too much about it anyway because a lot of people haven't seen it yet. But I don't know. We'll figure it out once we get there. But let's. Shall we get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right.
Looking for a news story?
Impress me.
Transmitting CIC Intel dossier.
They'll print anything these days.
All right. Well, I have one surprise thing that Jason doesn't know about here that I'm going to talk about. And it's just a really small one, but it just sort of popped into my Twitter sphere, Instagramosphere, just in the past 24 hours. But I follow Christopher McQuarrie on Instagram. And that guy. And he recently posted a picture on his Instagram, as he likes to do, of Rebecca Ferguson sporting an eye patch. Like it wasn't over her eye; it was just sort of up on her forehead. But it was like a behind the scenes type shot. There's nothing else in the shot. It was the same sort of black and white grayscale type photo, like he's been doing with all the other ones for MI7. So I'm curious what's going on with that. Some people were saying that something bad was going to befall her. I personally was kind of like hoping, optimistically wondering, is Ilsa going to be the IMF version of Nick Fury? Because if that's the case, I'm on board for that.
I think it's going to be even worse. They're going to commit the most cardinal sin that you can do in the Mission Impossible series. They're going to turn her into a Bond villain.
Oh boy. I really, and people have been talking about that though. People have been saying they're going to turn her, like they think that she's going to go bad. She's going to go baddie and turn. I don't know.
Fortunately, she pops up in Dune, coming to you 2 weeks after the new James Bond movie. Maybe she's jumping franchises because she knows it's better quality stuff over in the Dune universe.
Says Jason.
Comments of Jason Greenberg do not reflect the views of this podcast.
I mean, I'm just going to watch it regardless because it's Rebecca Ferguson. And
well, yeah. The joy.
She's pretty great.
Like a certain Disney princess we might have been talking about earlier.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So next up on the dossier, comic book writer Mark Millar, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly.
You absolutely are.
who wrote Marvel Civil War Saga, Kingsman, Part 1, the Kingsman series. Thank you, Jason, for that correction. Wanted and Kick-Ass, is now set to write a new spy graphic novel called King of Spies, which he's been working on with Netflix. So which is interesting that he's working with Netflix on a graphic novel, but hopefully that means we'll get a movie out of it.
I think that's, from what I saw, I think that's definitely the plan. He's got a huge, he got a huge contract with Netflix to produce the Millarverse, or however you would say that when you cram those two words together. The Millarverse.
Millarverse.
And I think this is the first original thing that he's producing through Netflix. So the graphic novel is going to be ancillary to whatever programming Netflix is going to go. It's a tie-in or a hand-in-hand that go together kind of thing.
Right. I wonder if that was one of the conditions of the agreement, was they fund his graphic novel, for in order to maybe own the intellectual property. I don't know, to make the films or whatever. I don't know.
I'm gonna guess it's more because he owns all of the stuff that's in the Millarverse, right? That's all his creator-owned content. I doubt he sold it directly to them. It's just a production agreement.
Or maybe they just fund it.
That's it exactly. Yeah. They basically licensed his stuff to make things with it, but he still owns it. It's not like Disney bought Marvel and they own everything.
Right.
They're just saying, we like to play in your sandbox. Is that okay? And he'd be like, yeah, you can play in my sandbox. Just don't pee in it. And and since he is so actively involved in the machinations of that particular deal, I don't think that's going to happen. And there's so much potential. I mean, I like the Kick-Ass movies. I would love to see a Kick-Ass show.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That would be a really...
where you can really get into the motivations of the characters and really kind of get a feel for that.
It's a perfect setup. It's the perfect type of storyline that you can continue on into a series like that. It's perfect for episodic type stuff.
Yeah.
This there's a little write-up that Millar put out regarding King of Spies. I'm just going to read it real quickly. In King of Spies, Britain's greatest secret agent faces his deadliest enemy yet, his own mortality. Diagnosed with a brain tumor and 6 months to live, the retired Sir Roland King looks around at the world he saved so many times and feels he can't leave us in such a mess. There's greed and corruption at every level, untouchable despots he was forbidden to go near, and a system he just doesn't believe in anymore. He wants to use his remaining time to make a difference with his particular set of skills and repair the damage he did in his private life at the same time. The most dangerous man in the world has gone rogue, and he knows where all the bodies are buried. Now it's time to go after the real monsters. So, sounds promising.
This sounds incredibly good.
Yeah, and the two pieces of artwork that he released to sort of give you, a little tasting. It looked great. Like, I'm totally sold.
Can we all hope that this whoever ends up playing King ends up being somebody who should have been James Bond, but didn't get to be James Bond? That isn't Henry Cavill, because I don't think he can go dark enough to do it.
Well, he's pretty busy.
He does have other things on his plate and long white hair. I don't even know what that's about.
I don't know what's that about.
But, I'd love to see Clive Owen in this.
He's perfect
coming
now.
Back to
He's
Clive,
the perfect age.
Right?
Clive Owen is the perfect age to do that now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think that this could be a huge opportunity to bring in somebody who didn't get their shot for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then make him the Bond that's just like, fuck King and Country. I'm just going to take care of this shit and go.
Yeah. I think he's the perfect man for the job. I completely agree. Oh, that'd be so good.
Mark, if you're listening, because I know you love this podcast.
That's right. We're such influencers.
Take some notes.
Take some notes. So, sort of adjacent or almost directly next to the Millarverse is the new spy franchise that's being launched from Matthew Vaughn, who directed the Kingsman series, Argylle. So I am very excited about Argylle. Argylle will be based on a soon-to-be-launched spy novel of the same name from author Ellie Conway, who I couldn't find anything about on the internet. That was the one thing in my research. I Googled every which way to try and find her work, and it always brought up something that was probably not actually her. So don't know a whole lot about her as a author, but it follows the quote unquote world's greatest spy, Argylle, as he is caught up in a globe-trotting adventure. The movie will be the first of at least 3 films in the franchise and is set in America, London, and multiple locations across the world. The cast includes Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, Bryce Dallas Howard, Bryan Cranston, Catherine O'Hara, John Cena, singer Dua Lipa, and Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson. That is a cast, dude.
That is, but there's nothing that says who's playing Argylle, right?
No. Cavill is clearly playing Argylle.
Why is he clearly?
Well, he's the lead. He's the first name on the.
So
he's Argylle. Don't.
How do you know Sam Rockwell's not Argylle?
All right, fair enough.
How do you know Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson isn't Argylle?
Oh, hell no. You know what I want? I want Bryan Cranston as Argylle.
That would be perfect.
How good would that be?
Yeah,
that would be like, really interesting. I would watch the shit out of that.
And then you make Henry Cavill the bad guy, and I don't care how bad it is. I'm going to watch that 10 times.
Yeah.
It's funny, though, this book thing sounds a lot like what's going on with King of Spies.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's being written to go in conjunction with a film rather than something that is inspired by the graphic novel or novel first.
Right. I wonder if they're taking inspiration. Well, although Game of Thrones, technically, a lot of those books were already written when they first started the series. And George R.R. Martin never lived up to his end of the deal.
That book is finished. He just isn't going to release it until he's dead so that his estate gets all the money for it.
But it is interesting how it's almost like they're recruiting authors now to sort of, do these split deals, especially the thing with King of Spies. That's the first time I've ever seen it where it's clearly laid out that they're going to do both literary and.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the fact that you can't find anything on this author leads me to believe that maybe this is somebody who was in the writer's room on writing this movie. And Vaughn's like, I have a brilliant idea. Let's write a book to go along with it. Anybody write a book before? And Ellie Conway's like, well, I used to write technical manuals when I was in college. You're hired.
Yeah, I mean, it could either that or, there's a lot of intellectual property that has been taken from like these Amazon authors, like these authors that only publish on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of shows on Netflix right now that were taken from these really super low budget books. These people that didn't even have their own publishers. They just self-published on Amazon and they got picked up. Like it got popular enough. They had enough of a readership that people like Netflix and Amazon were like, well, clearly people like this stuff. Let's see if we can adapt it into something else. I wonder if that's what kind of ilk she is of, or like you said, it could very well be that she's just a writer's room person who.
Right. Well, they don't do it as much as they used to, but I remember when I was a kid, every movie had a novel tie into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, but it was an adaptation of the movie, right?
Yes. And yet I'll give you an example. The original Star Wars novel that was written by Alan Dean Foster under George Lucas's name. They released the book 6 months before the movie came out. So everybody assumed that the movie was an adaptation of the book, that nobody had seen the movie or read the book or something, right. And it became popular again since it got picked up with the movie, but it was the other way around. And
they knew that they were going to do it all along. And
yeah, Lucas is like, oh, we need to get some back room out there. So can you write this for me? And so George Lucas isn't as good without the beard. I really have to get into the role.
Honestly, I'm going to create the next time we have an episode, an Intel report, or really any episode that we have. I need some sort of button to hit anytime you go into George Lucas mode, because it's my favorite thing in the whole world.
Guess I got to grow the beard back.
Beard back, man. Got to do it. Got to flesh that impersonation out.
It's just not as effective without the space work. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I do have a plaid shirt if I need to really sell it.
Big burly lumberjack shirt.
Exactly. And I mean, right now I am like, with the hair, if I go long, I'm like Phantom Menace era George Lucas. I still got some dark on the top, but the beard's all white.
Yeah.
Whenever I look at George Lucas, I'm like, I could stand to lose 40 pounds because I look like George Lucas, and that's not good.
Oh,
well, he's, he's earned it. He could do whatever he wants.
Yeah. He's got so much fuck you money. It's ridiculous.
More money, Mr. Lucas. Just put it in the guest room over there.
So moving on to the next item here, we've got some Bond news. So this is sort of leading us up to our first discussion point of this Intel report. But so like I said, there's 85 days as of this recording until the alleged U.S. release of No Time to Die. But in the meantime, everyone, including Eon, has begun to sort of look forward at, what comes next. And there was a story in the New York Times on July 6th where Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson spoke up in support of two current MGM film executives, saying Mike and Pam understand that we are at a critical juncture and that the continuing success of the James Bond series is dependent on us getting the next iteration right, and will give us the support we need to do this. And I find that very interesting that they were willing to say that, given the circumstances right now where Amazon's about ready to, in all likelihood, they're going to get the deal to go through and purchase MGM. Mm-hmm. And whether or not Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdi even stick around after that acquisition is anybody's guess. And according to a newsletter by a former editor at The Hollywood Reporter, he said, I'm told Amazon's famously press-averse executives were, quote, concerned about the story, mostly because DeLuca and Abdi focused on MGM's theatrical release plans and their strategy of original ideas with original authorship, possibly leaving the impression that there will be internal conflict with what Jeff Bezos cited as the primary reason for buying MGM, which is rehashing intellectual property. So that's interesting that we're already seeing a potential clash of ideas and things, which sort of leads me to this discussion point, which is, given all this change that's about to happen with MGM being bought and Daniel Craig stepping down and, Barbara and Michael G. Wilson trying to figure out who they're going to cast as the next Bond, and the fact that the Broccoli family in general is getting up there in age a little bit. And then on top of that, you couple that with everything else that we've been talking about here. Argylle being laid out as a franchise to be, not to mention a spy movie that's coming out next year as well, helmed by the Russo brothers, also known as The Gray Man, which has 11 books worth of source material that they can go off of. Is James Bond about to lose the throne? Or did he ever have the throne? I suppose is another question.
I think he did.
I think he did. And now I'm starting to wonder if he hasn't already lost it. Is this the tipping point?
Well, we've discussed this on numerous other podcasts where, that whole paradigm shift between Bond and Mission Impossible, where, Bond started getting stale again during the Brosnan years. and here comes, Tom cruising his way into spy movies, just like you need to hold your breath for 6 minutes. I'm Tom Cruise. I can do that. Yeah, you need me to be in a spy movie. I'm Tom Cruise. I can do that. And so we talked about how Tom Cruise became the accessible James Bond,
right?
Because he's not perfect. He makes mistakes. He's lovable. He's identifiable. Whereas James Bond is an archetype and not necessarily identifiable to other people. Mm-hmm. So I think Bond is still the premier spy character in all of media. Mm-hmm. Nobody goes, oh man, that guy really Ethan Hunted that. And they don't, right?
Right. Nobody says Ethan Hunt. When you say spies, you say James Bond.
James Bond, exactly. But I think that looking at what we're looking at now, there's going to be this renaissance of espionage.
And I think that there are different interested parties who are seeing this opening right now. They see an opening because they can see what's going on with Eon and MGM, and they see weakness, and they go, this is the perfect time to step in and overshadow the Bond franchise.
Agreed.
With all this discord and change going on, where there's all this uncertainty, you couldn't think of a better time for two different major entities to swoop in and go, oh, well, guess what? We're going to do 3 movies about this super spy called Argylle, and it doesn't have any problematic past to it. We can make it brand new, and there's no, there's nothing, there's no baggage that comes with it. We can make it fresh. Then we've got the gray man that's being helmed by the 2 most profitable movie script writers in the business.
Winter
Soldier. Yeah. I mean, the Avengers, they basically made Marvel what it is. You can talk about Joss Whedon all you want, but the Russo brothers really took the reins and brought what that franchise needed to keep going for another 5 or 6 years. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you've got those guys behind one spy movie, and you've got Matthew Vaughn, who has proven himself with the Kingsman already, behind the other. Mm-hmm. Granted, James Bond has legacy on his side. So that's the big thing, is that James Bond has 60 years, actually, as of next year, 60 years of history behind them. So even if they did shoot blanks on No Time to Die, let's say No Time to Die is kind of a stinker.
Spectre 2.
Right.
I was just saying it for you.
I know. You did that for my benefit, and I appreciate it. But it's like, even if No Time to Die is a stinker, they could always come back with the next one. Or even if the one after that, they could, there's always a chance. But
here's the thing.
Yeah, I know.
The 2 years that the movie hasn't been out has hurt the franchise
big time,
because Bond has become more niche-y than mainstream. People, Kingsman, anybody's going to go see that, right?
Right.
Mission Impossible, you got your diehards, but
sure,
most people are going to go see that, right?
Right.
It's like if you put Tom Cruise in a James Bond movie, he would pull Tom Cruise people in to do that. Mm-hmm. So unless you pull somebody with a huge following and something else to replace Daniel Craig, people are still going to it's people going to see a James Bond movie.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I think with the amount of time that hasn't been in the public consciousness, and the fact that there's going to be this whole bit of intrigue about who replaces Bond, and then you're going to have them button heads with each other on where's Bond going forward.
Right.
I think from my standpoint, you need to play on or play off of that heritage that James Bond has.
Yeah.
You need to and do what essentially Amazon wants to do. Redo everything so that you bring it into a more modern context, and you get that history that nobody knows anymore. Because most people who are going to watch
the good part
James
of it.
Bond, yeah,
yeah.
You clean it up, you modernize it, but How many people are going to pay money to go to the movies that saw Goldfinger when it came out?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Or that grew up with Goldfinger on TV like you and I did.
Mm-hmm.
Goldfinger doesn't show up on ABC on Sunday night movies anymore. Right.
Right.
You know, you have to go, I want to watch James
not even
Bond.
GoldenEye does.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no history to it anymore. And that could actually work to their advantage, if they go back and revisit the basic stuff.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of hoping that, excuse me, No Time to Die is sort of a backdoor Dr. No thing, right?
Yeah, and allows them to maybe go all the way back.
Yep. And start from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. Maybe do more Fleming faithful renditions.
Mm-hmm.
Especially I always go back to Moonraker.
Moonraker, right.
Just because the book is so much, clearly. Moonraker is fun if you're just, goofing off and it's in the background or whatever. But, as far as like a true spy movie, like if they went back and did it the way the book is, it'd be so much better. So much better.
Yeah. So I think there's that potential. And think about it. If you start using the existing material, you could probably turn stuff out a lot faster, more often, keep it in the public consciousness more. Mm-hmm. And I know that the family wants to. I know that the family wants to continue on with the new content, but at the end of the day, if nobody gives a crap about James Bond, it doesn't matter what you put out there.
Yeah. And I do think that they are in sort of a dangerous position right now, for sure. Because if either one of these two big movies hit, not to mention the fact that next year in 2022 alone, we're going to get 2 Mission Impossible movies. And if enough excitement is built around any of these movies coming out, I haven't even brought up the what is it, the 315 or I forget what the number is, but there's that female-driven spy movie that's coming out at the very beginning of the year. If that garners a bunch of interest and excitement, by the time James Bond finally comes back around, is anybody going to give a shit?
They will once Atomic Blonde 2 comes out for sure.
Well, So I definitely think that they're in a precarious position right now. And I'm just hoping, just for my own personal benefit, I hope No Time to Die is really good so I can enjoy a really good James Bond movie. But also, if it's not good, oh boy.
Well, that's the thing. If it doesn't knock him out of the park, their cachet with Amazon is going to go in the toilet.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, well, the last one you made wasn't so great. This one didn't even do as well as that one did. Maybe it's time for us to kind of look at doing things our way. And, I don't know what kind of legal ground that Broccoli and Wilson have to stand on, but MGM owns X amount of whatever of it. Mm-hmm. So they got to have some muscle. And if it's sort of like the whole thing with Spider-Man and Sony, right? Mm-hmm. As long as they made a certain amount of money and kept cranking out films, Marvel couldn't do a damn thing about it.
Okay.
But if they continue, I think the contract basically said if they could continually make profitable pictures over and over, that Marvel had the option of saying nope and take it back. Right. But every Spider-Man movie did good because they dumped a crap ton of money in to make them decent. They weren't all great, but
but they were all decent and they did well.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's so hard in this day and age to think about spy movies being relevant because there's no more Cold War. Everything's done electronically anymore.
Everything's done behind a computer for the most part.
Yeah. So the idea of human assets that aren't just straight up and nobody wants to watch a movie about a guy who's in deep cover that's reporting back about, financial statistics from a Chinese company he's working at. Right.
Yeah.
So the idea of even Ethan Hunt and the Impossible Mission Force, all of it is starting to become very passe because there's no referent to it at all.
Right.
And I have to wonder, you look at a thing like the King of Spies, right? Mm-hmm. This is almost like an Unforgiven of spy movies, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, what if this Argylle movie turns into the same kind of thing where it's like, revisionist Westerns, you know what those are, right? Where, for 20 or 30 years, Hollywood made the cowboys are good, Indians are bad, riding on painted horses. And then in the late 60s, early 70s, you started getting the dirty, dusty, duster-wearing anti-hero. Maybe we weren't so great with the Indians kind of
we
stories.
were kind of awful people.
Right. So revisionist Westerns. So maybe we're going to start entering a time where we have revisionist
spy movies.
Espionage movies.
Yeah.
Because your only other option is to go back to when it was relevant.
Yeah.
Which we all know that's my preferred thing for James Bond, is to go put him back in his time and place and make those movies in that category, especially if you're using the source material.
Well, and I'll be really curious, too, to see whether Argylle is in present day or whether that's...
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've only seen one little piece of artwork that was on Henry Cavill's Instagram feed, but it looked a little traditional looking, and it kind of makes me wonder, is it gonna be, it might not even be, I could see it, especially with it being a Matthew Vaughn movie, I could see it being something where it's an alternate reality altogether, where you've got, it feels like it's in the 60s or whatever, but you're dealing with much higher technology. So you've got sort of this almost what's that called when you've got that weird technology that's they're always wearing goggles and steampunk, almost like a steampunk type situation with a spy.
Or maybe it's something along the lines of what Tim Burton did with the original Batman that he did, where everything was, there's pieces of all of the history in there. But you couldn't tell if Gotham City was happening in 1990 or if it was happening in 1940. Right. Because Burton, and that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. It's one of those universes where it's like there's a little bit of both in there, and you can't quite tell what era you're in, but you do it in a way that makes sense, and you create rules around it, and it allows you to have the best of both worlds.
Exactly. I don't know. All I have really for that are two questions. One, will there be CO2 lasers? And two, I wonder what color his socks are going to be.
I wonder.
I guess I should say, what print will he have on his socks?
Yes.
The color's kind of irrelevant.
But, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up about all this, the reason why I wanted to bring up this discussion as well is the fact that Henry Cavill is the lead in Argylle, or at least allegedly, because he was the number one fan choice for the next James Bond.
Right.
So now Eon's got to back up and punt. If that was in the back of their head about what they were going to do next, that's off the table now, because he's sure as shit too busy to be James Bond at this point, and he clearly has ruled it out based on his decisions.
Yep.
And so now we're looking at like who's gonna be the guy now? Who's gonna be Bond now?
Still have my dream people.
Yeah,
I won't get them. I'm looking at you, Michael Fassbender.
Well, anyway, I suppose we should move on.
If we have to.
I suppose. We should probably talk about this mystery movie that
Disney princesses!
Disney princesses. And of course, we are talking about Black Widow, which just came out. Duh.
Hey, it fits. You've got two sisters who live in a cold country. Right?
Yeah.
They're fighting an evil bad guy.
Yeah.
I admit I got to stop here because I've never actually watched any of the Frozen movies, so I don't know if there's any other parallels.
I've only seen the first one,
but I mean,
yeah,
just saying.
So what was you go first? What was your first? What's sort of your gut reaction to the movie?
I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it better than some of the offerings that they've put out in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm. And
there are a lot of other offerings that they put out that I liked more. But I think it did what it needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun to watch. It's like Thor movies used to be before Ragnarok. It set up things that were coming later. So those ones are never their strongest movies, where they're using them to set up plot points.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an enjoyable bit of kind of family drama. If I actually almost like that part of it more than the final third of the movie that goes full Marvel. Yeah, exactly. I think that David Harbour is probably the best part of the movie.
David Harbour is the single greatest part of anything that he's in.
Except for Hellboy, even he couldn't save that. But seriously, like, he steals every scene he's in this movie. Yep. He's just that good. Like, his presence. The guy is a national treasure. Well, you know what's funny? Watching the movie, I'm like, there's a lot of James Bond callback in here, either intentionally or unintentionally.
Right. I mean, even David Harbour himself, the fact that he was in Quantum of Solace.
Right. Well, and so I looked at a clip of him in there, because I, again, forgot he was in it, because he's that character actor guy. Yeah. Right. And until he got on Stranger Things, he was in everything, but you couldn't remember who he was.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm just watching you see him, like, he's amazing.
Yeah.
In this. What is happening here?
He's so good at being such a dickhead in Quantum of Solace. Like, he's so good at being that company, or I suppose country man. Like the CIA man, in Quantum. And he's so hateable in that movie, and yet he's so likable when he plays a good guy. And it's just
absolutely.
He's a great actor.
He is. If I had any criticism, is that I think they may have tamped down Natasha's character in favor of giving the other characters more breathing room.
I would agree with that. And I feel like they're sort of, because, and I don't know if this is because the movie was delayed, probably not, because the movie was finished, like a year and a half ago already?
Yeah, more or less.
Something like that. But I feel like the whole movie is just teeing up Yelena Belova.
Which I don't think that shouldn't be a spoiler for anybody. We already know she's dead. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that a spoiler? Too bad. That movie came out in 2018. You can kiss my ass. I think everybody knew that was the point.
Yeah.
The passing of the torch. We've got Hawkeye is going to have a 6-issue limited series where he's passing the torch, right?
Right.
We got Falcon and Winter Soldier passing the torch. This is all that everything is happening right now in Marvel, is getting them to the next 10 years and setting people up, and not doing it in movies, but for the most part doing it in TV.
Right.
I think you kind of needed to do this as a movie for Black Widow's character. I think the character deserved to have her own solo film, because Scarlett Johansson, I think, has been one of the best things about the Marvel movies, because her character really was the comic relief, like the Hawkeye character. They were the real people.
Yeah.
That were dealing with the superhuman crap.
They were the people that were reacting to these like superhuman freaks.
Right. and I made the mistake because I watched Winter Soldier, because I think something's happening with Winter Soldier.
Something's happening soon with Winter Soldier. I don't know. Something.
Dude, I listened to this podcast where these assholes have been saying they're going to do a review of it for like 2 months.
2 years, really?
And I'm like, yeah, really, when you think about it. So anyway, and I watched it like 2 days after I watched Black Widow.
Right.
And the difference in how she portrays herself in Winter Soldier compared to how she portrayed herself in Black Widow, and then after in Endgame and when this took place in Infinity War, there wasn't enough Natasha in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that made me a little sad, because like I said, I loved watching her be that character, reacting with all of these titans.
Yeah. Well, I almost feel like we've gotten shortchanged by only getting a single Black Widow movie out of Scarlett Johansson.
I agree.
The fact that they didn't make one right off the bat, like as soon as they introduced her way back in Iron Man, like why didn't they make something back then? Like you could have really, even if you did it after a couple appearances in Marvel movies, but just allowed for at least 2 movies, and that way we do get one movie that maybe allows her to be that person that you're talking about, that's reacting to things and being the relatable human that's going, oh my God, can you believe this?
Right. Well, so there was superhero movies before Wonder Woman and superhero movies after Wonder Woman.
That's a very good point.
And I don't think that Marvel wanted to shortchange the character.
Right.
But they had a plan. Much like the Cylons in Battlestar Galactica, they had a plan, and they got to see that plan through. I think that Natasha's role in Winter Soldier was really that sort of Black Widow movie that you didn't get to see.
Yeah,
because she is really a key character through the whole thing. She's not ancillary to the team. It's her and Steve Rogers through most of the film together doing what they need to do. She wasn't a sidekick. She was an active participant. But Wonder Woman came out. They brought out Captain Marvel, which, again, I would have rather seen a Black Widow movie before Captain Marvel movie.
Agreed.
But it was part of the puzzle to get to Endgame.
Right.
And so there wasn't a whole lot of choice in the matter. Now, I like Captain Marvel a lot, and I know a lot of people didn't, but I have an affinity for the character from comic books. I actually like Black Widow more.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I would watch it way more often than I will watch Captain Marvel, because I kind of got the gist of Captain Marvel. And other than watching Samuel L. Jackson look 30 years younger and getting to see a blockbuster get destroyed, there's not a whole lot of content there that I care about.
I hate to admit this, but I've actually not seen Captain Marvel. I should probably go back and watch it. I spoiled
it for you.
No, I'm not really worried about that.
You have Disney Plus. You have no excuse. Go watch the damn thing and report back later.
I know. One of the thoughts I had was it was thankfully more of a spy movie than I initially anticipated. And I was really scared about that because based on the trailers, I was like, oh no, it's just a superhero movie. There's no spy stuff going on in this whatsoever. And thankfully there was actual spy shit going on, especially if you think about the early part of this movie.
Oh, for sure.
Very reminiscent of the show The Americans. If you're going to make sort of a parallel, very reminiscent of The Americans in the sort of flashback moments in this movie. The bad guy literally wants to control the world through a network of agents, not unlike Hydra. So there you get real spy stuff in it, but then, like I said, the final third goes full Marvel, and it's fun, but it's not. It ceases to be any sort of spy movie.
Right.
I also thought it was interesting. I did just a little bit of digging on the literary or comic book history of Black Widow because I never read the comic books, but I did not realize that the character of Yelena Belova and the character of Taskmaster were essentially the same character in the comic books, and they split it up into two different people in the movie. Am I saying that right?
So I'm going to have to admit, at least the Taskmaster part I'd never heard of before. As far as I knew, Taskmaster was a dude.
Okay.
Everything that I've ever seen, he's been like a second string bad guy for a long time. And I know the character's come into prominence in the last 5 or 6 years. So they may have written something completely different from the character than I was aware of.
Right.
But also, he just used to be a dude with a sword and a skull mask when last time I checked in on him.
I just found it very interesting that they sort of branched out the two different characters, or at least based on what I read. I mean, who knows? It was something off the internet.
Well,
I have no idea. And they do sort of mutate some of these, comic book stories into things to fit movies better.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you right now that Rachel Weisz's character, sorry, it's sort of a spoiler, but that character isn't such a good person in the comic books. So, I don't know. I think they were definitely tailoring it for where it was going, and the end credits scene will tell you exactly where it's going.
Right.
I don't know. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. It was everything I expected it to be.
I could have created a drinking game off of the number of gratuitous ass shots.
White leather, black leather.
I hate to say it, but as a red-blooded male, I didn't hate it.
How could you?
I mean, it's just, I mean, from a selfish point of view, I didn't have a problem with it, but I mean, and not just Scarlett Johansson. I mean, we got gratuitous ass shots of Yelena and Alexei. We got to see David Harbour's ass too.
And like the actor himself, quite impressive.
Indeed. And Rachel Weisz.
And all the, can't say that either. Boy, I hate spoiler-free podcasts.
I know. We're trying so hard. But I'm trying to think.
Suggest everybody go see it.
Yes, I would. I definitely thought it was much better than I thought it was going to be. That's the thing I will say. And I also, if I have a criticism, it's that there is some Jackie Chan level falling going on. And some injury that happens to Black Widow that is like, come on.
remember, she's genetically engineered and has some version of a super soldier serum floating through her veins. So if Captain America can do it,
all right, fair enough. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that she had.
There's a little thing in the movie where you kind of see that where they're when she gets into the Red Room and. It elaborates very quickly on some of the things that happen. Sorry, spoiler. But come on, if you know who Black Widow is, you all suspected it anyway.
Yeah.
But
I also enjoyed, and it's been shared on the internet over and over again, so I don't feel bad talking about it. There is another Bond. Well, there's two more Bond things that we haven't truly talked about. The fact that Olga Kurylenko is in it.
From Quantum of Solace.
From Quantum of Solace. Again, two Quantum of Solace people in Black Widow. And her character was really surprising. I did not expect to see her.
And completely underutilized. So I'm sort of unhappy about that. But
yeah. Well, it's funny. There's been rumors floating about, not that Eon would ever listen to their fan base, but there's been a lot of people like sort of thinking that Olga Kurylenko should come back to the Bond universe since she's one of the few Bond girls that didn't get killed.
Die.
Yeah. And I would love to see that. I mean, anytime I can get more screen time with Olga Kurylenko, I'm okay with it. So
you should watch Oblivion then.
Indeed. But the other thing I was going to say, the other Bond connection that we haven't talked about yet is the Moonraker moment. There's a moment in the movie, which doesn't spoil anything other than the fact that you find out that she's watching Moonraker and she knows it so well. She's mouthing the words to the movie, which is great.
And what did I do immediately after I saw it, Ben?
You texted me about it.
And then what did you do, Ben?
And I'm like, well, I kind of already found out from Bond Twitter.
Fuck you, Twitter. You are forgetting one other Bond adjacent thing that's in this movie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Isn't Rachel Weisz married to somebody that's involved with the Bond franchise?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think Rachel Weisz is married to somebody. I don't know.
What's his name? Donnie, Donald, David. He's got two first names. It's Daniel, Daniel, Mark, Daniel, Greg,
Daniel Craig, maybe
Daniel Craig. That's
it.
That's the guy.
That's it.
Explain something to me while we're on the subject of Daniel Craig.
Yes.
If Tom Cruise can keep playing Ethan Hunt into his 50s, why can't Daniel Craig keep doing it?
Because Daniel Craig likes to drink.
All right.
That's the difference. And he's getting paid a shit ton of money for Knives Out too.
Yeah. And unlike Tom Cruise, he's probably a little less concerned about his fan base of James Bond than Tom Cruise is his fan base of Tom Cruise.
Indeed.
I was thinking about this earlier in the podcast. He's 59 now, I think.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah. So if they make any more Mission Impossibles after 8, he's getting into Roger Moore territory.
Oh, boy.
Except that he's been Ethan Hunt the whole time.
Man, that is wow. Good Lord. That man he's an alien or something. I don't know.
He is something. but better man than me. I can't hold my breath for 6 minutes.
I can't either. I can't hold my breath for 30 seconds.
I mean, technically, I could hold it for 6 minutes. I'd be dead for about 5.5 of them. But
right, exactly. Well, I think that's about all we can say about Black Widow without spoiling things.
Pretty much. And we apologize if we gave you out any more than we should have. But what are we going to do?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
We liked it enough that we wanted to tell you to go see it.
We were so giddy. We were so giddy.
We about it as we could be.
Yeah, we were so giddy that we might have leaked a couple little things about. Yeah.
It's still worth seeing.
Still worth seeing. Absolutely. Absolutely. But as always, we are always looking for listener interaction to tell us how you like the podcast, or if you have ideas. Please let us know via email. You can reach us at cicdeaddrop@gmail.com. On Instagram, we are Central Intelligence Cinema, separated by underscores, or on Twitter at CIC Spy Pod. So, come say hi, Yeah.
And, if you enjoy the podcast, which we hope you do, if you're still listening, there's something you like about it.
Yeah.
We would love it if you chose to help us out by going and giving us glowing 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's the glowing part that's really important.
Well, they're stars, so they should glow.
Okay.
But those of you who have already done so, thank you very much. We do appreciate it.
Indeed.
But the more we get, the more it gets seen by people who are looking for this kind of nonsense. And the more people we get in to get us to get more content for you. So go out, give us a review.
Indeed.
Who's it going to hurt?
And more stuff on the way, but I've promised way too much in previous episodes, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So with that, I'm Ben.
And I'm Jason.
And the CIC will return with more missions, more martinis,
and more mayhem.